Hello everyone. So we have final session, keynote session from Adobe, and we have Jonathan here from the Director of Developer Experience, and he's going to share us about more about related to developer experience. And hand over to you, Jonathan. It's 5 a.m. for him, so we are all excited to hear you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me this afternoon, your time, and what is pretty early my time, but it's great to be here. I've had the opportunity to speak at a number of Meet Magentos over the last few years. This is my first Meet Magento India, so I'm incredibly excited to be here with you guys. Sadly, only virtually. It's been, I think, around 10 years since I've been in India physically, and I'd much rather be there with you today, but of course, present circumstances. Really, if we think back on the year 2020, it's really, there's no doubt that it's an unprecedented set of events that have challenged us all personally and professionally. We've lived through a global shutdown unlike anything we've ever experienced. We've had to pivot business processes and operations more quickly than ever before. And we've had to rethink engagement with customers, with partners, with developers and communities without in-person interactions, in-person meetings and conferences. And we've had to reflect, at least in the US here, on our core values and how we ensure that they represent and support the diverse communities in which we work and the diverse customers we serve. So like many generation defining events, the magnitude and impact of this period is not something any of us expected, but it's clear that our go forward will be very different from our past. I kind of think of it like a 5-year leap, like in the span of a few short weeks last year, and then the rest of the year, we've leapt into a digital reality we really didn't expect to reach until 5+ years from now. E-commerce penetration has risen over 50% as a percentage of total retail sales. Holiday season saw 2 years worth of e-commerce growth, reaching almost 200 billion US dollars with 32% year-over-year growth, just incredible numbers. The buy online, pick up in store increase percentages are huge. And then the number of $2 billion plus days in online spending nearly doubled from 2019. And I think this one's really important. Over 75% of people using digital channels for the first time as a necessity plan to continue using them when things return to whatever the new normal is. With the shift to work from home, we've had to break down functional and geographic silos to create value faster. We had to forge new ways to lead and manage teams and collaborate. This has been true for every job function in every industry. And while it may just be a regular Tuesday for a software engineer, these hurdles have been incredible for our educators, our healthcare providers, and our retail partners. But the impact on devs has been real. I know you all feel it. In many ways, we're bearing the brunt of this shift as companies across industries have looked to develop new skill sets and rapidly innovate. And so you see some stats here, 43% of developers reporting that their team's deployment velocity has gone up since last year. And 45% of software developers, and I imagine this number keeps rising, say they are working more while in quarantine. And now more than half of the world's 20 million software engineers are working outside of tech, in industry, helping with digital transformations across. As we know from our Magento experiences, improving business performance through software development comes down to building developer velocity by empowering developers, creating the right environment for them to innovate, and removing points of friction. Easy, right? So how do we do this as Magento? Well, let's reflect on what makes Magento so unique. It's the community that builds on it, collaborates around it, and extends it. Your passion for creative problem solving and for tackling the complex challenges that our joint clients face and extending our core capabilities whenever you see a need is what has enabled the Magento platform to execute on every imaginable digital business case. This ethos is more critical than ever in this new digital first reality. And you can see the fantastic momentum from just the first 3 quarters of last year. Unfortunately, I don't have the full numbers. I have the first 3 quarters here, so I apologize. But you can see the contributions that have been occurring through our community and our community engineering program, including almost 6,000 pull requests processed in the first 3 quarters, or created, and well over 6,000 processed, and 28 maintainers processing over 75% of those. A 43% growth in new contributors joining this effort. And our number of forum and developer members and meetup members just keeps growing. So it's absolutely incredible. And thank you for making Magento your own and for the unbelievable network you've created around this humble commerce product over the years. So last year, late last year at our first Adobe Developers Live conference, more on that later, we announced that Magento Masters would be retiring. So I'd like to take a moment and recognize the nearly 60 individuals who are part of the Magento Masters program over these past 5 years. And beyond the individuals you see here, every single person in this community who has helped to shape and grow the ecosystem since the first public beta of Magento way back in 2007. Whether you joined us then or you're joining us now, I am personally incredibly excited to see what we can accomplish together and how we can shape this larger Adobe Experience Cloud ecosystem. So we're not just giving up on MVP programs, we're evolving. And so as we also announced at the Adobe Developers Live conference, we'll be introducing Magento Commerce Champions, which is a new program for any existing Magento community member who is active in the community, who creates a positive environment and consistently adds value. This new program will allow us to better engage your local leaders and address the connected but disjointed world we currently live in, while making more space for diversity and inclusion. This expansion will give us new opportunities together to take a regional approach and offer greater participation, feedback, and insight. There's not a country in the world that doesn't speak Magento, and we want to empower our community as they come together locally. We also want to enable more local community leaders. We've seen such fantastic contribution from community leaders all over the world who are holding workshops, networking events, and really being tremendous champions for Magento for their regional communities. We want to recognize their contributions and help them be even more effective in their efforts. And we want to make room for more people. We want to grow. You've all been doing amazing work. It's more difficult every year to limit to just 20 folks for the Magento Masters program. So this expanded Commerce Champions program will allow us to connect with more of you in a meaningful way and partner in your community efforts. So with limited travel in the foreseeable future, this also means that regardless of travel restrictions, people from certain regions of the world like Africa and the Middle East who've had issues getting visas to Europe and the US events in the past can now participate more fully. Like Magento Masters, Magento Commerce Champions will have annual terms, with the first term beginning in 2021, so this year. Keep your eye on the Magento blog for submissions around the April timeframe. This application will seek to identify individuals in each region who will both benefit from the program as well as utilize the opportunity to empower their local communities. You can expect transparency in benefits and expectations, and like the Magento Masters program, you will have an opportunity to help shape the Magento Commerce Champions program through your feedback on what will help us all succeed. So let's get that feedback loop going. And so we're looking forward to building on the success of Magento Masters to enable even more great community advocates and contributors to be empowered in their efforts around the world. Okay, but there's more. There's going to be more and more. So workshop opportunities. We have 2 upcoming workshops that I'd like to plug. Our March workshop will focus on creating a welcoming and diverse Magento event space. Whether you're an event organizer aspiring to be, or really just you're interested in this topic, please consider joining. You will get the most value by attending live, but if you cannot, please sign up anyway so that you get the recordings and will be able to attend the event organizer support sessions. Also, a speaker workshop is coming in May. It's really for anyone who wants to increase their public speaking confidence. We'll have a blog post out in the next few days with more details, again, on the Magento blog. And then last on my list of things to plug, other than software, we have more upcoming Adobe developer-focused conferences. So I briefly mentioned that the Adobe Developers Live virtual conference series, which my team booted up last year. I briefly mentioned it. Our first event was focused on what else? Commerce. Next week, we'll be hosting our second event focused on content and specifically Adobe Experience Manager. But there will be sessions on how Magento and Experience Manager come together and are integrated, what open source tools we're all building together, and how Adobe is pushing modern front-end development capabilities. It's free. We would love to see you there. Adobe Summit also is our yearly Experience Cloud conference. This year, it will be virtual, it will be free, and it will include an all-new developer track that we're running with great sessions on Magento, on Experience Manager, Experience Platform, Project Firefly, which I'll talk about here briefly, and really the future of development at Adobe and in Experience Cloud. Please join us, please make some noise, and please show how passionate our developer community is. Okay, 10-minute mark, got 10 minutes more. So I want to pivot for a moment. Hope you found those resources useful. Please be on the lookout for updates. But I'd like to shift gears and now and cover some Magento product highlights from 2020 and tease some items coming in 21. So first, to orient, delivering the world's best commerce experiences requires constant innovation and an impactful product roadmap. Our roadmap revolves around 5 strategic pillars, which I will read from the slides right now, which I'm not supposed to do. So first of all, superior shopping experiences, advanced commerce capabilities, intelligent commerce, extensibility and integration, which is a big part of what my organization works on, frictionless platform and infrastructure. So in 2020, we have delivered capabilities across those themes. I'll include some highlights, efforts in Page Builder and PWA updates, expanded GraphQL coverage, the introduction of dynamic product recommendations powered by Adobe Sensei. In our capabilities theme, B2B order approval workflows, as well as in-store pickup. And finally, across the platform, introducing Magento Cloud on Azure, much improved cloud developer environment, and the delivery of cloud log aggregation and monitoring. Those innovations resulted in multiple market and industry acknowledgements with many AM plus Magento customer go lives, many Magento and PWA go lives, and recognition as industry leaders in the Gartner MQ and Forrester Waves, B2B and B2C commerce. And so that was incredible to see that happen. Thank you all for your efforts as part of that. And of course, we're not done. So a few things that I can point out in 21 that we're working on, some of which should hopefully be exciting. So first of all, we all know the world continues to move mobile. It's estimated that 2/3 of all website traffic globally is coming from mobile devices. However, there remains a significant opportunity in the market to convert a mobile browser into a mobile purchaser. I knew I was going to say that wrong. Fortunately, early adopters of progressive web apps are seeing this already, delivering outstanding mobile-first experiences while enjoying load times cut in half and mobile conversion rates improving by upwards of 50%. For that reason, in 2020, we doubled down on PWA efforts to help merchants and partners unlock the potential of mobile commerce, and those efforts continue in 21. And I'll remind anyone that doesn't know, our PWA efforts are open source. So we'll continue to evolve our PWA studio and give UI developers more tools to rapidly create and deploy dynamic and highly performant user experiences. And we're working with the Extension Marketplace team, which is part of my organization, on extension capability for PWA UIs. And of course, we continue to work on our GraphQL APIs to ensure that if our PWA is not the right fit, you can bring whatever head you need to the party. In addition, we're working currently in development on a premium Magento SaaS search feature, which will deliver modern search experiences that are lightning fast, hyper-relevant, and data-driven. Live Search will empower developers with flexible APIs and SDKs for creating custom shopping experiences. Deliver search right out of the box, supporting modern, intuitive search experiences like search as you type and query autocomplete. Provide boost and bury functionality so that you can implement your own marketing and promotion logic into search result ranking, even incorporating dynamic data like a given product's conversion rate, sales velocity, or shopper behavior. And it will be infused with Adobe Sensei powered machine learning, features such as AI-powered query autosuggest and smart facets to pick the best set of facet and filter options for any result set. When this is released, it will be available to all Magento Commerce customers and be delivered as a SaaS service with all the administration seamlessly integrated into Magento Commerce Admin. Okay, so if I may, I'd like to shift gears one more time and introduce my organization and mission. We call ourselves DevX, and most of us came from Magento, but we're working across all of Experience Cloud, Magento, and all the rest of the products to empower the world's best customer experience community, ecosystem, and platform for developers. We want to help you connect, collaborate, and contribute more effectively to the full spectrum of solutions across Adobe Experience Cloud. There are 4 core pillars to our mission. First, one Adobe, unifying the tools and capabilities that we offer. One community, earning the right, and I mean this, earning the right to bring our diverse and vibrant communities together and ecosystems together around the common cause of redefining customer experience. It is precisely our diversity of vantage points, perspectives, and breadth of expertise across the end-to-end customer journey that puts us all in a unique position together to build that future state. And we need to come together in open collaboration, amplifying the voice of the developer, of the data scientist, the data engineer, the architect, the operator, the designer, the technology worker, of the entire community, enabling those diverse backgrounds and perspectives to push assumptions, expectations, and definitions of excellence, learning from and empowering each other, creating and collaborating through the media of open standards and open source. And lastly, and certainly not least, fostering innovation. So equipping you as developers with modern developer experiences and capabilities, also getting out of the way when we need to stay ahead of industry and technology shifts. So today that means cloud and edge native, DevOps driven, serverless, headless, but with digital roadmaps accelerating and digital projects being fast tracked, who knows what the future holds? So let's build it all together. I want to call out a few areas that we're working on as part of this evolution. These efforts are coming from my team, are coming from Magento, are coming from Experience Cloud, are coming from shared organizations that are building things in Creative Cloud where Photoshop runs. So a lot of efforts across all of Adobe. First of all, and what I'd really like to say is, like, my organization, my DevX org, puts on events, we engage with the community, but we're also hard at work on these core developer capabilities. So first, Project Firefly, which is a complete framework that enables developers to build and deploy web applications or headless APIs and logic to extend Adobe Experience Cloud solutions and runs on Adobe infrastructure. Firefly uses modern web tech, including Jamstack, serverless, event-driven computing, Node.js, and React applications, and supports modern CI/CD. Combined with React Spectrum, allows developers to build apps leveraging Adobe's UI components. You can learn more about it on the adobe.io website. React Spectrum, which I briefly mentioned, is our open source collection of libraries and tools that help you build adaptive, accessible, internationalized, and robust user experiences for business web applications. It's our Adobe-wide investment to implement a consistent design system with full keyboard nav and touch interactions. So if you're building on Experience Cloud using Firefly, you can directly use Spectrum and build custom UIs via the same components we internally use, keeping experiences rich and consistent. But even if you're building outside of the Adobe stack, our ARIA and Stately projects might be valuable to you. Please check out Spectrum on GitHub, and if you'd like to learn more, or actually to contribute to the effort. So with this, I'll close and just say thank you so much for your time and for your partnership. I just shotgunned a lot of information at you. I'm throwing up some links here. I think some of them you know, and hopefully check and follow, subscribe to, and interact with us on. Some of them you might not. So please take a look, and I look forward to your questions presently.
Right. Yeah. Thanks, Jonathan. We do not have, I think, any questions right now. So maybe then we can end this session. Like there is a lots of information we have. So one community have now lots of opportunity. We can see that here. So thank you very much. And we have closing remarks starting in 10 minutes. So stay tuned. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.